All right, you guys. This one you guys really have to listen to. This week is going to be a beast mode. I'm not going to lie. So let me talk about something good, and then I'll talk about this bad news week that's coming up because you guys really do not want to trade. Hear me through the whole video. I promise you, if you're not a professional trader, this is the week you want to take off. You remember in some of my prior videos, I told you guys if you're not a professional trader and you haven't been trading very long, about once a month, there's going to be a week where you just need to chill out and just watch the market so you can learn its behavioral pattern. This is that week again, okay? This is that week again. So, first of all, let me talk about something good. If you guys are looking at the thumbnail, I want to make sure that you understand that the numbers you're looking at are freaking amazing. I don't know if anybody else is actually doing what we're doing. So, for an example, in the thumbnail, and those who's in our signals group, imagine going with 37 trades for the month of January and no losses at all. 37 trades, no losses for the signals group. And then you kick over to Miss Jenny's side where you trading live with her twice a week, learning how to trade the indices. And you guys did, and you only traded 3 weeks, just 3, because the first week they took off, there wasn't a class because she was still on vacation and stuff like that. But you still closed the month out with 9,608 pips. 9,608 for the month of January in a 3-week period. Then you kick over to the month of January for our copycat service. And this is what the big rave is about for those who want to know. For those who want to know what the big rave is about, just imagine you had 64 trades and only lost 4 for the month. And you didn't even trade. No charts, no nothing, complete hands free. So again, if you're tired or you work, you're a truck driver, you're an airline pilot, you're a stewardess, you're one of those people who just don't want to deal with the charts, but you want to have passive income, then the copycat service, to be honest with you, is perfect for you because you just set it up and we'll take care of the rest. If you are a person who likes to get trades sent to you, and you still want to attend class, then I really believe that the signal service is going to be for you. And I apologize, I'm hanging out in Miami, and if I open this window, this is literally an ocean view, so I closed it because of the noise. So I know you guys may be looking at it. Hey man, where you at? This ain't the same background. That's where that's the reason why. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's move on to this news because this is really a critical week for a lot of currency pairs. And I want you guys to write this down. Make sure you have something to write with because I'm going to go through each one of the ones that's very, very concerning to me. And it should be concerning to you. So if you're a new trader or you're just coming up the ranks, you might want to be very careful. Okay. There's going to be some shaking going on this week. Here we go. Here's number 1. Write this down. Euro, just the euro, EUR. On Tuesday, they're going to have their GDP growth, which is not that big of a news. That's the second most easiest news event that's going to be coming up this week is the euro with their GDP growth on Tuesday. Okay, so that's not that big of a deal, but just in case it gets to spiking, you know why. Here's the first fire. One of my favorite pairs, AUD, the Australian dollar. On Tuesday, they're coming out with their inflation numbers, the inflation rate. And as I taught you guys, why is inflation numbers so important? Because the inflation numbers is what drives interest rates, okay? Inflation, when they turn up the heat on inflation, they also turn up the heat on interest rates. When the inflation numbers go down, they tend to leave interest rates alone or to lower them down. Okay, so one of the biggest indicators of where the future of interest rates are going to go is to look at the inflation numbers, in my personal opinion. Okay, they go hand in hand. Next, euro, write this down. Wednesday, here we go. Euro, you can write it down for 2 things. It's going to come out with its CPI numbers, which is the customer price index. That's what I call it. They call it consumer price index. I call it customer price inflation. Well, that's our personal inflation numbers. Okay. But the bigger one is they're going to come out with their inflation rate. Okay, so their inflation rate is coming out on Wednesday. Okay, now here's the biggest one of all. Here's the big one. And as I have taught you guys, when there's a big Fed announcement, The closer it gets to the Fed announcement, do not, write this down, do not be surprised if you don't see the market moving much. I get so many novice traders who's always asking, what's going on with the market? How come it ain't hurrying up? What's going on? Why things ain't moving? Because you ain't got no patience. Okay, keep this in mind. When there is a huge Fed announcement like this one, which is the Fed interest rates, okay, the Fed interest rates, the federal government, the US dollar, USD, is coming out with their interest rates on Wednesday. The reason why that is so critical of all of the ones who's going to be announcing announcements this week, and there's more, so keep your pen up because there's more to give you. But the reason why is because the dollar, and I've taught you guys this for several years, the dollar is widely accepted in the U.S., but also around the world. That's what makes it, quote unquote, a global currency. Okay, you can take the dollar and you can go to Japan, you can go to Australia, you can go to Barbados, you can go almost anywhere with the dollar and you can use the dollar, okay, without having to convert it into some other currency for the most part. But you cannot go to Barbados and bring it here to the US and spend it. You cannot bring a pound from the Great British Pound or a euro and bring it into any Walmart here in the US and say, I want to buy some groceries with it. Why? Because it is not widely accepted. So the problem is that when you have a global currency that can be impacted, it will impact every country who accepts it. Do you see the difference? So yes, the others are important, but they will only impact the currencies in that region of the world. But the dollar is widely accepted globally, so whatever happens to it happens to every currency who accepts it around the world. So that is why when you see big announcements on the US dollar, you need to be very careful of trading it if you are not a professional trader. We're clear. So this is one of those times where you got to be careful because the Fed interest rates is coming out and that's going to determine where we go here in the US, okay, but also around the globe, okay? Next, the euro is coming out with their inflation numbers. Now, you said, oh, you already said inflation. Well, here's the problem. The euro is and it's called the Eurozone because it's a conglomerate of different countries or states or whatever. Like we call it the United States of America because you got all these different mini states here, such as you got California, you got Florida, you got Denver, Colorado, you got all these different places that makes up the United States. So in the Eurozone, you have all these different small little places, but put together, they call it the Eurozone. And so therefore you can have duplicate announcements, but it will be for different regions of the Eurozone. Okay. So which one it is, I don't know which one, but I just saw red. So that tells me be careful. Okay. So the Euros is coming back out on Thursday with inflation numbers. Now here's the next big one. The Great British Pound is coming out on Thursday with their interest rate announcement. Okay, write that down on Thursday. And I'm sorry I don't have my screen up. I normally go through this step by step on the screen so you guys can just take a snapshot or a picture of it. But I'm, like I said, I'm hanging out with my boo. Yeah, hanging out with my boo, relaxing on a quick vacation. So I'm not in front of my big computer to share. Last but not least, the week is going to finish hitting people across the head with the U.S. Again, write this final one down. The U.S. is coming out, watch this, with non-farm payroll, NFP. NFP for new people stands for non-farm payroll. There's a blessing though, and I'll tell you the blessing in just a moment. But NFP stands for non-farm payroll. In other words, that's the job reports right here for the U.S. And that's a very big deal, okay? And it's really, really a big deal right now because of the presidential election, okay? So that can cause some really, really big fires going on. So I'm going to go over these really, really quick again. And then I'll tell you what the blessing is and I'll let you go. Here we go. Euro, GDP growth on Tuesday. AUD, inflation rate on Tuesday. Euro coming back with inflation rates on Wednesday. The euro is coming back again on Wednesday with the CPI, Consumer Price Index. The biggest announcement of the whole week is the Fed announcements on the interest rates on Wednesday. Then the euro is coming back out again with inflation rates. Then you have the pound coming out with interest rates on Thursday. And then you have the non-farm NFP report, non-farm payroll on Friday. Now, here's the blessing. Hear me good. I like weeks like this as well. It's terrible, but it's a blessing. And I'm going to tell you why. Sometimes in the past, they used to break these things up. Okay, you like, for an example, you have non-farm payroll one week, and then you'll come back later and you see the Fed interest rates. I'm glad that they're putting all this hectic news in the same week. So whenever this week is over, it's over and things tend to calm down. What typically happens the following week after this, for new traders, the following week after this tends to be a lot more milder because you got a lot of the turbulent news that comes out once a month on these currency pairs. It just came out all in the same week. So this is why I said, if you're new to trading, I would just observe the market this week. Keep an eye on it. Just observe it, because it's going to be some fireworks. Okay, there's going to be some shaking going on for real. But when that shaking is over, then guess what? The markets calm down and they have a much more peaceful week. Okay. But if you're a professional trader and you've been through this, like my team who's been beast mode, it's nothing. You're good to go. So anyway, let's wrap this up. I really believe that for many of you guys, the copycat trader is just going to be your best friend, because it allows you, and I'm going to do a testimonial video showing all these testimonies just pouring in of people passing prop firm challenges, people being able to do withdrawals and all these different things they were never able to do for many, many years. Some of you guys who attend my live classes on Wednesdays, it's still going to be coming up this Wednesday. I'll be back on time for that. You're in there hearing people's testimonies who are part of the copycat service, where, you hear their testimonies. It's just there. Plus it's streamed to the YouTube channel now. So you hear the testimony. So it's just a matter of get your behind off the fence. Come on in and join the copycat, and we'll take care of you. No problem at all. Okay. You just set it up and then let it roll. Okay. Treat it like an investment account or IRA or 401k. That's what I always tell people. Just set it and check once a week, once a month. Okay. All right. So again, let me go over those numbers and then we'll be done. Actually, just check the thumbnail. I'm out. I'm going to have a weekend enjoyment. Bye.